The sun bled onto the horizon as Eli Carver rode alone, the dust of forgotten towns clinging to him like memory. He wasn't just a rancher. He was a man who had spent half his life losing land, people, and sleep to the West's harsh truth that nothing stayed unless you worked harder than the wind to keep it. His horse limped from a fresh scrape, and his throat burned for water. But Eli's stubbornness, his one unbroken peace, kept him riding. No town wanted him, no woman trusted him, and no tribe welcomed a white man with haunted eyes. He camped often between borders, where coyotes howled and ghosts whispered warnings he ignored. He was used to being unwanted. But fate had a wild habit of grabbing men like him by the collar and dragging them into stories they never asked for. That night he saw smoke rising in the valley, not from settlers but from the sacred ground of the Apache. Every man he ever met taught him one lesson: keep your distance from Apache fire. But Eli wasn't like most men. The closer danger stood, the quieter he became. He walked toward the flames with cautious boots and steady breath, and that was when he saw her. A towering figure, tall enough to make the moon seem small, wrapped in leather beadwork and carrying the posture of a warrior who had never learned to kneel. She stood easily, a head taller than any man he'd seen, and yet her eyes held youth, curiosity, and a loneliness so deep that Eli felt it across the fire. Her name was Tala, which meant wolf, and she didn't threaten him. She studied him as though reading truth from skin. Eli didn't speak first, neither did she. The silence stretched until the wind bent the firelight. And finally Tala asked what no one else dared. "Why do you walk the earth like it has already taken everything from you?" Eli didn't answer. He only stared, wondering how she could see so much in a stranger. Tala told him her people had fallen, her tribe scattered. Her giants feared as curses rather than blessings. She said the earth chose her to be strong when others failed. But strength made her isolated. Eli, who worshipped isolation as survival, recognized the tragedy instantly. They spoke at length. They were two different storms, but both understood ruin. When raiders struck their camp before dawn, Eli didn't flee. He stood beside her, rifle raised, spine unbroken. Tala fought like thunder, Eli like drought, quiet, relentless, unforgiving. When the dust settled, the wounded groaned, and Tala saw Eli not as a stranger, but as a man willing to bleed beside her without knowing her history, reward, or promises. And for the first time since childhood, she said words she never practiced. "Stay, even if only until sunrise." He stayed. And that sunrise didn't just break the night. It broke something in both of them, something that had defended them from feeling alive. Subscribe for more real stories from the Wild West, where courage, love, and destiny ride together. Your support helps us keep making legendary tales. And one. The days that followed stitched Eli and Tala into a partnership neither expected. She taught him that the West didn't belong to the loudest men, it belonged to the ones who listened. He showed her that survival wasn't strength, it was stubbornness dressed as hope. Their alliance caught the attention of surrounding tribes and the wrath of the raiders they'd driven off. Rumors spread fast. A giant Apache girl and a lone white rancher, neither claimed by country nor tribe, standing together. They became a symbol, either threat or miracle. When raiders returned with twice the numbers, the valley became a battlefield. Tala fought at the front, arrows slicing the wind. Eli covered her flank, firing with the soldiers' grim discipline. The sky turned black with smoke, and the ground ran with the cost of belonging. Just when Eli thought they'd fall, Tala knelt beside a dying elder who whispered her final truth. Strength was not muscle or height. It was choosing to build something that could outlive you. She turned to Eli, breath ragged, heart breaking with clarity, and said the line that would echo deeper than gunfire. "Plant your hope in me. Build something this world cannot break." This wasn't a plea for possession. It was a plea for a new world, where tribes were rebuilt, land protected, families chosen, not inherited. Eli, who had never built anything that survived, felt the terror of possibility. The battle ended with scars, victories, and losses neither could count. But through the ashes, Eli finally understood. He wasn't born to wander. He was born to heal soil scorched by war. Together they gathered survivors, rebuilt fires, replanted seeds, and created a refuge that defied borders. Eli didn't become a hero or a legend. He became something harder, a man who stayed. Tala didn't become tamed. She became a leader who carried both fierce flame and quiet compassion. And every night, the desert wind whispered that rare magic occurs when broken people decide not to break others. Their union didn't end the Wild West, but it changed a corner of it forever, proving that hope planted in harsh earth can still bloom stronger than fear. If you loved this legendary Wild West story, subscribe and join us for more epic tales of love, courage, and unforgettable characters. Don't miss the next chapter of The Frontier.